Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadline so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Woo! Welcome to But Am I Wrong? You know who's not wrong today? You.
Me.
You know who's not wrong today?
You.
It's really less convincing because I'm a little all over the place. It's okay.
At least you're dressed.
Why would you expose me like this when
You exposed yourself.
actually it's fair? I was nude on we obviously block shoot
Mm-hmm.
these episodes, so you might have heard if you listened to our bonus episode on Tuesday, our See You Next Tuesday episode. I was dealing with a hot flash. So on this podcast, we felt like the world needed this podcast because as two people who are never wrong, what is the next logical step?
To put a microphone in front of our faces
Yes.
and tell the world.
Because if men are going to do it, so can we.
Hurrah!
This episode is broken up in 2 different segments. We will get into each of them before we obviously hop into them. But just know that the overall theme of the show, and if you were the right audience, you would know that because you love gossip, but not mean gossip. You love cunty things, but you want to make sure you're ethical about these things that you're consuming. You want to trash talk people, but the people who deserve it. And you want to complain and bitch about things that are completely inconsequential, but there's a levity and a humor there.
Mm-hmm.
That's who this podcast is for. And I have to say that what I just described is my perfect kind of friend. If you don't fit into that and you're like, no, kumbaya, positivity,
This isn't for you.
no, we are not hand-holding, skipping through a field. We're doing that. If we're doing it, it's because there's a great song in the background. I'm having a main character moment, but
We're just not those people.
no, I don't know if anyone's described me ever as earnest. If someone was like, which queer eye guy are you? No one has said I'm Karamo. And that's why Karamo has 2 reality shows where he helps people's life. And we've got podcasts.
We've got 4.
So many. So many.
All right. Should we get into our first segment?
Yes, but should we tell them the most exciting part about this podcast?
I mean, I guess.
Well, with that attitude, I think you need to puck up. Buck up.
Buck up, bucko.
Share with the class. Let them know.
When I hear puck up, I think my butthole puckering.
I think of Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream, you fucking freak. She's nasty. She is. It's because she recently just took a shift.
I did.
An afternoon, honestly,
Afternoon
delight.
delight.
So happy for you. It could not be me. I wish I could.
I'm
so
usually
wish.
a morning.
Without, some people can poop before they go. People are like, oh, I need to go out. We're going out to party, out to a club. Let me take a shit. If I could, I'd be unstoppable. That's amazing. An evening poop? Never. And if it is, it's not a pleasant one. And it was not my choice.
All right. So to Meghan, the best part of the show is that you get to vote. And so we post on our Instagram on Fridays-ish. You've been doing very well recently.
Thank you.
So on Fridays, post a poll with each thing that is presented on this episode, and then y'all get to vote. And then on Fridays, we read those results on a show that we call Fisting Friday. And then we share things.
Yep. It's a great time.
All right, let's get into our first segment.
Woo!
And it is called But Am I Wrong? And that's when we, Melissa and Meghan, pick things from our own lives that we may be wrong about. It could be a hot take. It could be something that happened to us, or it could just be a rant. So we're recording this on February 4th, but you are hearing this if you listen on the day that it comes out and you're not in New Zealand. You're hearing this on February 16th, which is my birthday.
I just need you, like, everyone to know that, like, I have friends that, like, their parents, like, all fucked within the same time period and then had their babies all within, like, a 3-day range. That's wild.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say about your hot takes. Birthday hot takes?
It's a hot take pertaining to my birthday.
Okay.
And it's that I should be able to celebrate my birthday however the fuck I want to.
Well, she is, because you're making us have a fucking PE class for her goddamn fucking birthday.
So the last time I properly celebrated my birthday was February 16th, 2020. And then darkness covered the earth.
Masks covered our faces.
Yes. When my friend Sarah, shout out to Sarah, doubt she's listening, when she was driving me to the airport in Portland, it was like we were listening to the radio and they were talking about it. And Sarah's a doctor and she was like, I don't know. It could be something. I don't know. And I was like, I don't know either. But then I got home and researched and I was like, I do know now.
And she's like, Meghan, stop talking shit on this thing. I was like, oh, I guess it is real.
Last year I was going to celebrate, but then I got a lot of work.
Yeah. That was your birthday bonus.
Yeah. And so I got a podcast that lasted not a podcast, an audiobook that lasted 2 weeks with Fat Check. And so then we didn't do anything. And so this year I'm like, it's time to celebrate.
She's fucking back, bitches.
I'm back. 2021, I spent my birthday in isolation.
Yep. 2022,
I spent it grinding, getting a bag. Now I'm done grinding. Like, for real, like with life.
No,
I'm done.
You're in your soft
Not
life
even
era.
just like this month. I just mean as a whole.
You grinded?
I grinded. I ground. I feel good about where I am in life. I'm taking a whole bunch of trips this year.
She's shaking her ass on a fucking yacht.
Yes, like I am living it up. And I told everyone at the beginning of the year, like, this is me getting back into my childishness.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to start as soon as I get my inhaler when I get diagnosed with
when she finally gets diagnosed with asthma, which she without a doubt fucking has.
I'm getting back into gymnastics. Like when I was a kid, I am going to start playing tennis. I guess I could play golf now. I don't really need an inhaler for that. But
Mom's like, it's a very rigorous exercise.
But I'm doing that. I'm taking swim classes. I am just being carefree and loving life. And so for my birthday, as I said last week, I'm having a field day, definitely playing dodgeball. And then some other things are in the works. And a couple, 2 or 3 people said to me, yeah, you're doing that, but like, what else are you doing? Like, you got to dress up and go do something. Like, that's like, you can't do that for your birthday. Why the fuck not?
What are you supposed to do?
I am a bougie bitch. Like, yes, I do like to dress up sometimes, but I also like to be a fucking child. I'm
retweet. Go off.
I'm multifaceted.
Yes.
You know, I'm a chameleon. I'm a shapeshifter.
Hot people are interesting too.
I love doing a variety of things. And just because I am doing something that's bringing me a lot of joy, physicalities, probably a lot of pain too, and a lot of humor.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there's like a few people like still in their 20s like you, maybe 2 or 3. But everybody else is 30 plus. There's a few people that are 40 plus, and it's gonna be pain. And I'm gonna have the time of my fucking life.
Yeah.
And I can do my bougie shit some other time, and I
7
am
days a
going
week.
to be doing my bougie shit other times, but it's my birthday and I get to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And anybody that has a problem with that, don't come.
Or
And
you can
don't talk
be
to me.
the target in dodgeball.
Yeah.
Just because you're hot doesn't mean you can't also participate in PE class.
Right.
Like, you can be both. Hot people are interesting too.
Yeah, it was me arguing with people. Like, I can't, one
Where do
person.
they want you to go? To go to fucking Delilah?
They're like, dress up and go to dinner or something. I can dress up and go to dinner any fucking time.
no. The whole dressing up, like, if I'm going to dress up and look hot, like, I love dressing up and looking hot on my birthday.
do.
But, like, unless it's, like, Vegas, the experience I'm going to have is relatively the same any day of the week.
Yeah, and we can do that anytime.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't need
Birthday
to.
is a mindset.
Right. I don't need to do that. And I also it's just too much, and it makes me overwhelmed when everybody has to break up tickets and stuff. And then also, I know a lot of people, and I don't want to spend a meal with everyone and a meal with everybody. But also, when you have like a big group, you only talk to the 3 people that are around you. You can't even talk to everybody.
No, I'm a big believer in it's like 10 or less. That's the only number of people who can go to dinner. 10 or less. And 10 is still a fucking lot.
Yeah. So fuck you, the 3 people that told me. And you can kiss my black ass. And I'm going to be shaking my ass on a dodgeball court. And later I'll be shaking my ass in Vegas. I'm going to be shaking my ass in Chicago. I'm going to be shaking my ass in the Dominican Republic. I'll be shaking my ass in New York. Like, I'm going places this year. And I can shake my ass.
This is worldwide.
And if you would like to shake your ass along with me, cool. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for my own self-enjoyment.
And you can shake your ass on a dodgeball court.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I said.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't discriminate in the locations and the locales of where you shake your ass. Like, yeah, what do you have against shaking your ass on a dodge? Like, what did dodgeball ever do to you?
Exactly.
I mean, personally, dodgeball's done a lot to me, but I'm fucking excited, and I think this is a great idea for. I mean, like, Motz thinks it's like the most genius idea he's ever heard.
Great.
So I'm looking forward to it, and everybody, because it is Melissa's official birthday. If you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, go wish her happy birthday and follow her on all of her social media.
Mm-hmm. You can't follow me on TikTok though; that's shut down.
Are you gonna bring it back yet? After the Grammys?
After the Grammys.
So it might the Academy sing. That's fucking funny. So you're not wrong, but
Thanks.
my rant is kind of somewhat tied to that, not based on your birthday, but childlike things again. And this might not have been pertaining or relating to anybody else's childhood, but my rant here is we need to bring back treasure hunting.
Oh.
I'm like, why the fuck did we stop? Like, there's fucking treasure out there. Like, what the fuck why did we stop looking for it?
You know why we stopped?
I don't want to get into like fucking history and shit. I want to talk about fool's gold.
No. Quicksand.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. Big quicksand. They wanted to stop us from finding the fucking treasure. So they were like, be careful. There's these little fucking pockets that are sucking you up.
Mm-hmm.
We got to figure out how Big Milk and Big Printer involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Big Printer doesn't want you to print those treasure maps.
Right.
No, like, here's the thing. So I grew up in California, NorCal, and the gold rush, that was like a big thing of like our elementary school curriculum, to the point where we went to like Gold Rush County and we stayed overnight there. Everyone's like parents are doing role play of like, it's like a fucking Renaissance fair, but like for that time period. And we got in the river and I'm there with my little sand in little thingy and I'm scooping shit up and I'm looking. I am searching for this gold. I'm not finding it, but I'm like, this has to be a fluke. I'm like, I gotta fucking find it. I'm in my backyard as a kid. I'm digging. I'm at the beach. I'm seeing these like people who've got those little metal detectors and they're gonna find gems. They're gonna find jewels. I'm watching the most underrated rom-com of the 2000s, Fool's Gold. I think the reason why that movie didn't blow up is because they want to stop us from experiencing the magic of treasure hunting because they don't want us to hunt for treasure. We need to start finding treasure. Like, there's treasure out there and like we're just like sitting here living our day-to-day lives, our 9-to-5s, corporate jobs, and there's just treasure that's fucking buried, just screaming for us to come find it. Like, why don't we do that shit anymore?
Sounds like you've got your birthday plans
No,
this year.
when I tell you that like this has also like seeped into every fucking facet of my life. I'm like, I need to get a fucking metal detector and just like walk around and find shit. Like that's so fucking
Do you
fun.
follow that guy on TikTok that does it?
No,
He's
but I
found
need
some
to.
good shit.
See, I love that. I love finding things. I love discovery.
He also found
no.
he found
no.
he's found a few weapons
No.
that have been like wrapped in tape and stuff.
You're like, I'm not getting my fingerprints on that shit.
Yeah, so he
Hands off.
immediately calls the cops
Yeah.
when that happens.
So like I just think that like even like I've looked up things of people who go in like Oregon and certain places where they can like see by the rocks and they can find like the geodes and all of that shit, like, or even people who are going foraging and they're finding mushrooms, they're doing all of that stuff. Like I think that's a form of treasure hunting, and we need to start bringing back treasure hunting in our day-to-day lives, because if life is a video game, this shit is fucking boring. Like I need a side quest. Like I don't want my like if I was playing like imagine, I'm gonna say my life is relatively like different and fun and exciting, so I don't want to complain about that. But like let's just say you work a corporate 9-to-5 job and imagine your life is a video game. Is it a fun video game? No. Then you need a side quest to find some fucking treasure. It's not like, oh, look, I'm making my character go get coffee and they're getting in their car. They're sitting in their commute in traffic. They're going to work. They're on Excel. They come home. They heat up some food and then they go to sleep.
Mine is like sitting in front of a microphone and then reviewing edits. That's what my regular life.
I couldn't tell you what I do all day. I need to have a Ring camera that's like facing me. It's a little chaotic. I just think that we need to bring back some of that excitement. And I think in the capitalist hellscape that we live in, something that is driven by money and reward and prize.
This sounds great.
This
I
sounds like it fits right
honestly think
in.
that we need to do this for your birthday.
I think so too. Like, and even you think of like high school, I remember we had like scavenger hunts that people would do for shit. Like, why did we stop doing that? Like, that shit is fucking fun. Like, imagine a bachelorette party, but it's a fucking treasure hunt. Like, you give me a fucking like
people that have done
khaki
that.
hat. Like, you give me one of those like Y-brim safari hats and like give me a little brush. Because you know what I also think is a treasure hunt? Archaeology digs. Wow. Downtown LA.
Who knows what you'll find there?
I don't know if they can guarantee what you'll find. Ooh, they're showing a picture of us light out, so that's good. I agree with you. We need to get back into
Being childish.
being childish. I don't know why. We look at kids and we go, oh, I wish I was like you. And it's like, let's stop wishing. Let's just be more like you.
That's what my friend was like. I told her, I was like, I'm going to be childish. And she said, you mean childlike? And I said, no. Ish, because like I want to be in the shit. I don't want to be like a child.
No.
I want to just be a child.
I don't want to adapt it for my adult life.
Right.
Like, no, I want to get in the nitty gritty of that shit.
We just did activities.
I want to play with mud.
One time I was coming back from Portland and this woman had been on, I would call, in your words, a scavenger hunt where she was finding geodes and stuff.
Ugh.
And they were all in her backpack. And you can't, for some reason, they won't let you have that in.
You could probably use them as weapons because they're heavy.
Yeah. And so she couldn't. And then she was like, they're sacred. You can't take them out of my backpack.
Okay. You know, I'm not
And
going to
it
go that
was so
far.
it held up everything.
I'm happy
And
for
I
her.
had accidentally left my water bottle,
Oh,
like
you got
my
to chug the
actual
whole
water
thing?
bottle. And then there was a little bit of water at the bottom of it. And I forgot that I had put it in there like that. And so I was waiting for mine to come out of the thing. But I'm sitting here behind this woman that would not check her geodes.
So you mean to tell me that you wanted her to part with her loot, her reward, the X at the end?
I just wanted to get through the airport. And all I had to do was empty my water bottle. She was holding up my quest. That was my obstacle.
I gotta say, if it was a video game, I'd rather play hers.
Yeah.
You know what's also a treasure hunt? Robbing banks.
Yeah.
Like-
It is. That's the ultimate treasure hunt.
Yeah. Like, we need to make life more like a treasure hunt.
Yeah. I stand with you.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Anyways,
we should take a break.
yeah, we'll take a break and we will be right back. We're back from the break.
Yes, we are. And you know what it's time for?
Our second segment, but are you wrong? In this segment, this is where you, our listeners, write in with your predicaments, your issues, the things happening in your life, the stories, the tales, where you want to know what's plaguing you at night is, am I the hero or am I the villain? And who better to ask than us, your own personal God.
Somebody called us goddesses last episode, in some episode. So.
And I intrinsically like feel that to my core.
Mm-hmm.
We are goddesses and we are also judges. Similar to Judge Judy, we're here to set you straight. We are here to deliberate and to deliver
Make a verdict.
Your verdict. I was like sentencing. We're not sentencing you to shit.
We could.
We're sentencing you to join our Patreon. Hey, it's relatively cheap. We have it. That was a joke, but it was also real. So you should check out our Patreon. If you want to submit yours, if you want to bring it up to the
council.
Thank you. Thank you. I have not watched SVU in a while. You can email us your submission at butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. You have to keep it under 300 words. It is all anonymous. If you're going to use fake names for people, please use names. Don't use numbers or any other aliases like that. It's a little confusing. And if you're going to reference something in pop culture or like a TV show and like that's the characters you use as inspo, we love that. But not to be too nitpicky, maintain the similar relationships. Because like when you tell me that like you're Monica and then your brother is Chandler, I'm like, why are you fucking your brother?
Right.
I just like, I can't.
And Ross is right there.
Yeah, like this is just not canon. Like I don't need it to be, you don't need to send us like a script from Friends, but make sure the relationships between said characters make sense for the story.
Rot.
If you would like to let us know your pronouns,
Cool.
we do it. Love it. Amazing. And please, though, we do require that you let us know what your age is and if other people like in the story, their age, because age is just a number, but it is heavily influenced in where you are at your life. And we're able to kind of deliver the best.
Meet you at that crossroad.
Exactly. Crossroads. Everybody, $1 million question. Who wrote that movie?
I already know.
I know. I guess they can't respond to us. But if you don't know, I'm not going to say who wrote it. Look it up right now. You got 10 seconds.
Okay.
I know. How fucking crazy.
I knew.
Me too. But like.
All right. Right in number 1. Hi. I'm 25, they, them, and I have a spicy account where I make adult content. Been doing online content for, I think, 3 years now, and weirdly, I've never felt sexier because in reality, I look like a hobgoblin or a tree monster. That is fake.
I'm a tree monster. I'm wearing green, and I'm taller than you.
But when it's just a mini photo set or a collab, I'm like, wow, look at my power bottom ass making these men beg for this pussy. Also, yes, I make sure they're tested, vaccinated with both COVID and monkeypox, and make sure to see when was the last time they got tested because a bitch is scared, even though no matter how protected you are, these things happen. Now I see 2 people subscribing to my account and I notice that they have recognizable faces on their profile, both from my high school. One was a guy I was on a sports team with. He actually apologized, not knowing it was me since my face is not on my profile. I did forgive him for that. And the other, my school bully. The weird thing is, on some posts, he'd tip me like $10 to $20. As nice as that is, I don't feel comfortable having him subbed. My friends are like, no, finesse the bully, which I would 5 years ago. Now I weirdly got my adult brain, depression included. But I also love money and I kind of need it since I'm taking a gap year in college. So am I wrong for letting my bully still be subscribed and finesse the money, even if I do need the money to go back to college?
I don't think that's finessing at all.
I don't think it's finessing.
You're performing your duties for your job.
You're doing
your job and you're doing it really well.
Yeah, and they bullied you, but I hate like this thing, but it's like, you know, bullies sometimes see things in you that they're not yet able to express themselves, and then they bully you because they're essentially jealous of you. And maybe this is them making amends by, you know, sorry, here's an extra $20.
Yeah,
I don't think this is finessing at all. Finessing is when
involves deception.
Yes, you take advantage of a situation and you're not taking advantage of anything.
I don't even think finessing is just taking advantage. I think it has to be like there's deception involved. You're creating a situation to which it gains for your benefit, and it also involves a little deception. I would say that like a lot of wouldn't be entirely legal or like ethical in that sense.
I don't think, maybe finesse isn't what you meant to use, because I don't think it applies to this. But no, get your money, get your coin, secure your bag, gap year, fill in the gap with some extra money.
Yeah, like it's not like this person accidentally subscribed and accidentally sent you $20 and they're like, oh, that was an accident. Can I get that money back? Right. First of all, if it was still your bully, I'd be like, don't give the money back. But this is a person who has subscribed, wants to give you money, and then is giving you money on top of that. And all you are doing is your job, which is just receiving the money.
Yeah. Because you're not really doing anything extra. They're just showing up for what you're already doing.
You have no... I mean, in this context, it sounds funny, but like you have no skin in the game in the sense that like you didn't put forth any effort. Because like my whole thing with revenge is like it's never going to, like the amount of time, effort, and energy you put into like orchestrating the plan, the outcome, the person's reaction, it's never going to be what you have dreamt it up to be. But this, it just fell in your fucking lap.
Right.
Or on... I almost made another
Tune
joke.
in tomorrow.
Okay, next up. Hi, Meghan and Melissa. My friends Sarah and Molly and I, all 22, she, her, are seniors in college and booked a cruise for our spring break in March. It will be the last hurrah before we go our separate ways after graduation. Additionally, we are road tripping back to college because Sarah wants her car at school and we are using my family homes as stopping points. Family homes?
Okay.
You want to sign up for a Patreon on somebody's credit card? Doesn't have to be your credit card. That's fine. You can reap the benefits. That's finessing.
Right.
We'll be living very far apart after graduation, so this trip is the last time we'll be hanging out together for an extended period of time for the foreseeable future. Last night in our group chat, Molly said that they were talking to a friend of theirs, Lily, about the cruise, and Lily expressed they were interested in joining Molly. They were interested in joining, and Molly wanted to see if I was okay with that. For context, Sarah and Molly are good friends with Lily. I am just an acquaintance, and have only hung out with her once when I invited her to Sarah's surprise birthday party. During this party, Lily talked the entire time, and I and others couldn't get a word in, so this left a bad taste in my mouth about Lily. I told Sarah and Molly that I'd rather keep it just the three of us because of it being so close to graduation. They pushed back slightly and said Lily doesn't have any other spring break plans and that she wanted to at least join for the road trip. I held my ground, though, and said I would really rather keep it just the three of us. And they said, okay. Am I wrong for being so firm about not wanting Lily to come? I really don't know her that well and wouldn't want to spend an entire 7-day trip with her. Why are you looking at me like I personally relate to somebody who does not stop talking the entire time? I do.
Yeah, but do you want to be stuck in the car with somebody you don't like?
No, not at all. But I'm like a little impressed that you and your two other friends, you and Sarah and Molly, have like made it this long as a group of three. Like a group of three is like really fucking rough and just hard. So honestly, on a trip like this, like even if I didn't like someone, like if I wasn't like that close with them, and I only met them once, like it's not like she's like a raging bitch. She just talked a lot, which I relate to. I would honestly probably rather that because the idea that we can split 2 and 2 on anything.
No. I feel like it'll turn into 3 against 1 because right now it's 2 against 1. And then bringing the other person in is most likely going to be on their side because it's not going to be on the writer's side.
That's fair.
If this is my last trip and I feel like I want to enjoy my time. And sometimes there's just people you don't like and people you don't gel with. And if you don't gel with this person and then you're going to be stuck in a car 7 days with them, I just don't think this is going to make for an enjoyable trip for everybody.
Yeah. I'm a little curious how these are like, you just call them your friends. I don't know if these are your best friends, but how you've only met the other friend like once. In college, like friend group wise, things tend to be like, I don't know, because like maybe it is really that like you three are like besties and then Sarah and Molly have a class together and then Lily was in their class. Because if it's that and like that's how they know her, but like if you're considered like all three of you are best friends and they have this other friend who's a good friend, but you've only met once and you all go to the same school, then I'm like, yeah, I probably would be like, nah, because
she's not in your friend circle. I feel like it's just because she doesn't have plans, then they're inviting her.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, so then at this point, if you're not friends with her, that's probably because it's not just because like, oh, I only met her once. It's like, oh, I've only hung out with her once because I don't really have an interest in pursuing a friendship with her. And I don't want that. That's not going to start when we're on a cruise together. It's not like their friend from high school who you don't know as well.
I once went on a road trip with somebody that I was friends with. And then she invited people that she was friends with, but I didn't necessarily know. And this girl was acting like she was like better than me. Be like, oh, you have this nice things to be from Arkansas. This bitch grew up in the sticks of Arkansas. Like, she's from Arkansas, but like Arkansas. Like Arkansas. And I'm like, you've been in LA 2 years, and I'm like from another part of Arkansas. Like, yeah, I have nice things. Like, it was just like these like little these little snide remarks that she was making. And I did not enjoy my time because it was with somebody I did not like.
No, that's valid.
I'd be like, if she's coming, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really, really not into traveling in big groups. And I'm so not into traveling with people I like don't know well. I'd always rather be like, oh, we'll take an additional car and I'll go with like the couple people I'm closer with.
That would be great for me. I think that's the solution.
Yeah.
Somebody can ride with me. Somebody can ride with her.
Yeah.
Even though y'all don't want to.
And is there somebody else you'd want to invite? Like, do you want to make this thing a bigger trip? Because if you're not all in the same level, this probably not going to be as fun for her either.
Yep.
And again, if your family has multiple homes and maybe they gave you a credit card access for their Uber account, feel free to join our Patreon. It's a great time. And this is giving money back into the community. Shop local. Farm to
Support
table.
women in business.
Truly.
Okay. Writer number 3. Am I wrong for asking my wedding guests to give me money instead of gifts?
No.
Hey, Melissa and Meghan.
Hey.
Thanks for putting me first. I am a 26-year-old female getting married this spring. My fiance and I would like to request our wedding guests to donate to our newlywed fund as opposed to getting us gifts, material objects. My fiance and I live in a small apartment and simply do not have space for any more things and do not need anything new. We would, however, love to buy a house this year. On our wedding website where the registry can be found, I want to put newlywed fund as the only gift option with the description, as your presence is more than enough, but if you would like, please donate to our newlywed fund in lieu of gifts or something similar. My mom thinks it's not appropriate to ask people for money and says we should not do this. Am I wrong? Does wanting cash instead of gifts make me an asshole? Is there a way I could word it differently that wouldn't make me seem like an asshole? Thank you both so much. Love you both to pieces. Here's the thing about wedding gifts. The tradition started because people would be living at home with their parents and then getting married. Like, you get married and then move out of your parents' home and you wouldn't have any. So the wedding gifts were supposed to help furnish your new home. Now, in the day and age we live in, most people live with their significant other and are also later like not getting married straight out of
dual income household before you're fucking getting married.
Yeah. And so you don't need things. I do not think this is bad at all. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it's tacky. I think that more people should be doing this, to be honest. Because who needs just an extra crystal vase?
A fucking baccarat. I've never been to a wedding that didn't have a baccarat butterfly on their fucking registry.
Yes, this is practical. It makes sense. This is what we need. Buying a house is hard. It costs a lot of money. It's a lot of down payments and shit. I think this is right. As to how to word it, what you said sounds pretty good to me. But I also send, when I need to like have an email, I send it to Melanie to read over and then reword it for it to be nicer for me. So I'm the wrong person to ask about that. But I think this is great. And I've been to weddings where they do this.
Yes. I don't disagree with you in theory, but you need to look at who is attending your wedding and what your background is. I mean, you didn't mention this specifically. In like some cultures, it is like considered somewhat rude to just do a cash gift versus like a present, but it can be in addition to that. If you've got an older group of people, I'm going to tell you this right now. Everyone who's going to have bought you a gift is not going to donate to your newlywed fund. Like, a lot of people like feel like, again, this is older people, older generations, that like your mom's feeling of it not being appropriate. Some people do believe it is inappropriate to kind of give a cash sort of gift there because they don't think it's personal. And then they're not going to give money to your newlywed fund. They're going to give you something that you don't want without a gift receipt. Like, so I think every wedding I've been to has both. They have some things that are on their wedding registry. And here's the key. They're relatively expensive things. There are things that you return with a fantastic return policy. That's somewhere you want to upgrade your bedding. You want to get something that like, you want to change this or do this or whatever, that like, it's a blender, it's a Vitamix. It's something that you could use money down the road. You could even do like, you can write on them like Amazon gift cards for us to like do something in our new house or whatever, and contribute. People can contribute money to those things. You don't have to spend that money there. They can contribute to a $100 Amazon gift card or a $500 Amazon gift card, and you can use that for something else later on. But the thing is that like a lot of older people want to, they have this fantasy and this idea of you making a banana bread in a loaf pan that they got you, and every time you look at it, you think about them. Like, and it's not realistic. And every fucking person under the age of 37, maybe 35, is going to donate to your fund. That's, we always do. We're always giving cash. We're always doing that. And older people tend to want to give gifts. So my thought process for this is, if you have a good number of older people there who are your parents' age or older than that, pick like, I'm honestly going to say like fucking 5, maybe 10 things, depending on how many people you're inviting. Pick 5 to 10 things that are at places that have great return policies, that are things that you're like, you know what, like maybe we would want to upgrade this. Maybe this is a fund for quote unquote a honeymoon fund that we can save for this, and this. Those things can get bought up. And then you see there that contributing money to this other fund is there. But I would say that like, I would just manage your expectations, because everybody I know who has had weddings and has had wedding registries, again, all of the young people gave money for a house fund and did all of that stuff. Some of the older people did it in addition, but people really wanted to give tangible items. And I don't agree with it. I don't think it's great. But I also don't think there's anything wrong with sticking to your guns and being like, no, we're only asking for this. But I just wouldn't expect to have the monetary amount you would have had in gifts total the amount of money that you're going to be given.
That's true. And I kind of want to go back now that I've thought about it as Meghan was speaking with what to say. I think maybe explaining, like having a very nice,
in a tiny apartment.
Yeah. Like explaining everything, that a very nice letter about like your intentions with if they donate money. Like, we don't need material. I don't want to say material things, because the house is still technically a material thing. We don't need like a new whatever, because like it just won't fit. But you know, if we have this home, we can fill it with gifts later. Make it pretty.
Make it pretty and make it feel personal in the sense of, again, you're not doing this for your fucking college friends. You're not doing this for the people who are around your age. You're doing this for the older people. So like, cater to them, what they're like. I don't know, maybe you grew up in a certain religion and you're like, and we'd love to be going back to this church every Sunday. Like, make it fucking flowery and make it pretty, because buying a home for all of these older people, like, this is the people who are like, just stop eating avocado toast and you can buy a home. So there's a lot of people who don't really understand that. And so they can kind of just be like a little resistant to the idea that it feels like an exchange of cash. But I don't know your background, but if you can kind of make it to like, there in certain religions or certain cultures, children, teenagers are given gifts at different given monetary gifts at different life milestones because they represent something. So make this represent something.
Yeah. Okay. You're up next.
Hello, Eminem. I am 26, she, her, who is married to a 27, he, him. Last night, my husband and I got into discussion after telling him about my decision to get a tattoo in a few days. My husband got upset and felt that as his wife, I should have let him know sooner. I explained to him that I already told him months prior about getting this specific tattoo, and ultimately felt like he doesn't necessarily deserve to know since it's a decision that affects my body. For context, we've been together for 6 years. I had 2 tattoos prior to meeting him, and I've gotten 2 more since we've been together. Every time I've told him about getting a new tattoo, he's always questioned me about the decision like it's an open discussion, even though I'm telling him, not asking his opinion. Frankly, his reaction makes me hesitant about getting a new tattoo and even more hesitant to tell him when I decide to get one because I'd rather just not deal with it. I honestly don't believe he deserves to have an opinion on whether or not I get a tattoo or deserves an advance notice. So am I wrong for not letting him know sooner about the decision that affects my body only and has nothing to do with our relationship? Please let me know your thoughts. See, here's the thing. This is where my brain goes, well, you're married. So I've got to filter through that. I think that like, unless your tattoo is potentially offensive, I think like what you decide to do and like sharing things with your partner that like, oh, this is something that I want to get. This is something I think is like really cool. You know, I think anyone can have an opinion. Like, I don't think that everyone needs to share their opinion, but the same way that like a friend, like I don't think anyone, again, unless the tattoo is offensive, I don't think it should be I'm asking for permission. I think if you're getting an honor tattoo of somebody who is alive, I do think you should, if you're not sure, you should probably ask their permission if they're cool with you getting a tattoo for them, about them, something like that, if they're alive.
I think anybody wants to get a tattoo of me, go for it.
You know, I am tattooed on someone's ass.
I know.
I forget about it all the time. How you guys doing? Anyways, if Mott's wanted to get a new tattoo.
Does he have tattoos?
Yeah, it's so fucking random. He has 2.
Where?
I know. He has one like here, which I joke, it's like fading. They're not good. He does not like them. It's like fading. And I was like, you know, it's kind of fading. It kind of looks like my name. And he was like, no. And I was like,
What is it? Because I've been with him at a pool. I do not remember this tattoo.
It's like, Melissa, like when I tell you, it's like nobody knows he has tattoos, even though like you can see them. It's like, I can't even tell you, I'm like, is he wearing glasses or is he not wearing glasses? Like, he's just like, he is who he is. So this is like, I don't know, something in fucking Swedish. And then he's got like a Swedish family crest or something on his side.
Actually, I do remember that
Yeah,
one.
it's because it's blue. That has like a little bit more color in it. But if he like went and got a tattoo, I wouldn't be like offended he didn't ask my permission if he just totally surprised me for it. I would have been like, oh my God, like, oh, I wish I would have known like the excitement, the showing me, like, this is so cool. Like asking for my, like, do you like this one or do you like this one? And like offering suggestions that have nothing to do with getting it or not. That's, I think, the only, like, or like when I wanted to like get curtain bangs and like I was asking him what he thought there. It was like, I was never asking his permission, but like I do value his opinion on, do you think, you know me so well, do you think I would like this? Do you think this would be something that I would like continue to enjoy or be sick of? But like, if I was 100% confident in my decision, I would only share with him because like, I'm excited to tell him.
Yeah.
Not.
Can I? No. Absolutely not.
This is a red flag.
Yeah, I don't like this. And I do not think that you're wrong. I think that your husband is wrong. I mean, like he can have opinions. If they're negative opinions, he doesn't necessarily have to share them. But also, you had tattoos before you even got married. So he knew that you had tattoos. He knew that you were into tattoos. So he makes me mad. And I really have nothing else to add.
Yeah. Him saying every time you get a new tattoo, he questions the decision. That is like, it's really not. And I would say this to him that like, I don't want to like put anything in your head about like the state of your relationship, but like letting him know, it's like questioning my decision making is not okay. Like I'm not asking for your input. Like I'm really confident in the decisions that I made. I would think that you were confident too because I chose to marry you. Are you confident in that decision that I made?
Right.
Like you fell in love with me and the person that I am, and the person I am has made her own decisions for the vast majority of my adult life. And children make their own decisions all the time. Like when you're putting my morals, ethics, thought process, like all of that into question and thinking that you kind of need the final say and run by and just be like, well, did you think about that? I'm just like asking, blah, blah. That's, why would you marry me? Like, what are you attracted to with me in that? Like, are you not attracted to my mind? Are you not attracted to like the person I am and like the morals that I have and like how I stand my ground about these things? Because if he reacts negatively to that to me is like 1,001 red flags. But like, if he has no idea that that's what it was representative of, that's what he was doing, he was questioning your decision. Some people, men specifically, think that every conversation is an invitation to share their opinions. And you've made it abundantly clear that it's not. But I think in my mind, the last thing I would do, or the final thing I would do in this argument would be like, do you know what that means when you're questioning my decisions?
Yeah.
Because it's not about a tattoo. It's about questioning this. But the fact that you said, this makes me hesitant to get a new tattoo because you just don't want to deal with this.
Get your tattoo.
Get a fucking sleeve and a half.
I want you to get your whole thigh. I love when
Oh my God, like the big flowers.
Gals have their whole thigh done.
I'm
thigh tat.
obsessed.
I love it.
Obsessed. And especially the ones that go up and they go on the ass. Oh my God. And then you creep into tramp stamp territory. Have you seen the ones with like big flowers and then they do vines? Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I also think that men who don't like women with tattoos is a red flag.
Again, she had them before they got married. So, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take another break.
Woohoo!
We're back.
Hi.
And now it's time for But Are They Wrong? And that's when we pick somebody from the world who has done something wrong.
Yeah, we have yet to nominate an extraterrestrial. We never would. Beam her up and find a ghost to fuck her while you're at it.
I don't know why you keep trying to cock
I'm
block
not.
me.
No, I'm here for your alien
I'm
ghost
here
dick
to get probed
and penetrated by a poltergeist.
Yes. So this week, I choose Representatives Carlos Gonzalez and Judith Garcia, who are Democratic Massachusetts lawmakers. And a lot of the things that I am quoting come straight from an article written by Jessica Hemzelu. So these two lawmakers have created a bill and they claim it would restore bodily autonomy to incarcerated people. But critics, and myself, I'm a critic too, believe that it's unethical and it preys on desperation of inmates because what it is that inmates can donate their organs for less time.
I thought it was an Onion article when I was like, no, there's no way that we blew this Onion article up this big. I've never watched, this is the most Black Mirror shit in the world.
So organ donations are currently allowed in U.S. federal prisons, but only if the recipient is an immediate family member. The proposed bill in Massachusetts is designed to establish a donation program within the state's Department of Correction, and nearly 5,000 residents in the state are on the organ donation transplant list. And so there's this disturbing proposed change would allow incarcerated people to swap their body parts for reduced prison sentences. One of what they're calling a benefit of the bill, according to the people that wrote this, is that it will broaden the pool of potential organ donors. It's true. I mean, it's true like that there is a shortage of organs available. In the United States, there are more than 100,000 people who are waiting for transplants, and 17 people per day die on the waiting list. And so it may be true that having a surgery or a painful procedure to save another's life is probably one of the most like generous and selfless things to do. But like, at what cost are we putting people's lives? Like, this literally puts like a price on people's body parts.
Yeah, you're not allowed sex work. No, but you can sell your body this way.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, this is like an example of something that's adverse to this. People who donate kidneys are more likely to end up needing dialysis or needing to get a kidney themselves in the future. It's also been pointed out that it's vitally important that living donors understand and accept the risk, so their decisions to donate is fully informed and free. And so if you're asking a prisoner who may get a reduced sentence because of this doesn't give them those same options because there's something else weighing on them.
It's literally like buying a buying a heart on a black market.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing.
Can somebody that's like in prison suffering and they're desperate to get out, are they really giving free consent? No. And so Jennifer Bell, who is a bioethicist at the University of Toronto, says that this is being framed as an incentive. Would there be some degree of coercion involved? By definition, coercion would imply there's some threat of harm influencing the person's decision. There's no mention of that in the bill. But spending an extra year in prison might be harmful for someone, especially if there's a risk of violence, disease, outbreak, and dangerously hot conditions. So like after you donate organs, a lot of times you have to go on medications. And then let's say something happens at the prison, which there are outbreaks all the time. And then now that person is even more susceptible to things happening to them. And then Peter Reese, who is a nephrologist at the University of Pennsylvania, says that like he works with a lot of people, and people who are incarcerated might not also feel like if they're being essentially pressured to give their body part for less time, they may not be vocal about everything that's in their medical history, because when they don't know this person, so like they can't, there's no like connection to it. But two, again, this is like being forced upon them. There are other problems with the bill. Apparently, the goal is to increase the living donations from people who are in prison. And we know that most of the people in prison are from vulnerable groups. They grew up in poverty, subjected to childhood abuse, and that ethnic and racial minorities are overrepresented in the prison population. And so just over 30% of the inmates are Hispanic and 38% are Black. And so this is essentially harvesting body parts from Black and brown people.
If anybody had any question if the history of policing and jail and criminal justice was rooted, this is abundantly clear.
So it's organs and actually bone marrow too.
That's like painful.
So painful.
Here's my thing. How about, hot take, we send less people to jail. We'll have more living organ donors that way. And quick little question. Where do people who are currently incarcerated fall on the priority list for receiving organ transplants themselves?
That's a good question, Megan. So let's say that your fellow inmate wanted to donate to you.
Yeah. Would that be able to be your first priority? That's someone you know, that's someone that you have a relationship with and a bond with, and that's someone who probably knows maybe a little bit or a good chunk about your background and can make an informed decision and be able to accept said organ, knowing you and your life and what you've been through, maybe any prior health conditions and all of that, and wanting to do an act of goodwill.
And then are you going to get the best aftercare after that? Because the healthcare system in America is abysmal, but then you have the healthcare system in prison.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
Dentist visits, like being able to get pap smears, like all of that shit. Like also, I would say if we had comprehensive and universal healthcare, we would have less people who need organ transplants.
Yeah, that's true. Because it wouldn't get to that point.
There's a lot of things that like people are born with organs that aren't functioning optimally, and you'll need multiple or single transplants in your life. But then there are things that come from lack of like regular healthcare and just good checkups and doctors who like believe people and all of that stuff. Like there's a reason. The reason why we have more cancer now is because we're catching cancer in earlier stages, but there's still people who don't catch cancer until much later on.
Yep. Another thing is like when you donate, you have to go to therapy, and a therapist has to sign off from it. And I can just smell the corruption that's in here.
Or even like the pre-op thing of like, you need to be like away from people for a while for this. And then it's like, so are you going to be getting preferential treatment in the prison for X amount of time before then you get your surgery? And then afterwards, like, how are you going to be protected in that sense of like, how often are you getting health care checks and all of this? Like the amount of people who died at Rikers and like now you're getting major surgeries.
I know just from something that I'm writing that like after liver donation, 8 to 10 weeks is the recovery for it. You can't lift anything heavy. You can't like get sick again. You have to like be relatively not doing anything. So then what are they going to do? Put them in isolation?
That's what I mean. I'm like, you have to live like a lot of like for years, even like some organ donations, it's indefinitely. Yeah. Both parties have to lead a low risk lifestyle. Prison is not low risk. And like, so then isolation. So then you're dealing with the mental aftermath of donating an organ. And then you're going to put you in a place that is like been proven to absolutely irreversibly destroy your psyche.
Yeah. I hate this. I hate it so much.
Absolutely horrific.
It's vile.
Like we will do absolutely anything except reform, quote unquote, the Democratic stance of reforming prison.
And these are Democrats that wrote this bill. I'm like, and so it's ridiculous.
When Democrats talk about like we need to reform prison, it's like there's nothing to this is a dumpster fire. And when your idea of reforming a dumpster fire, if this is already so far in fucking hell that this little adjustment is people selling their organs, you should know that you're in the bad place.
Right.
Like fucking lost cause with this shit. It's I can't. It's so fucking horrific.
Oh, okay. I could talk about this all day, but
I can't with this.
Your turn.
Okay. I would like to nominate the makers and consumers of AI porn.
Oh, God.
Have you heard about this?
Oh, yeah.
So Brandon Irwing, who goes by the name Atroic, here's the thing. If I respected him, I would look it up. But I'm not going to because this is his username. So he posted a video of himself crying, giving a quote-unquote heartfelt apology as he admitted to paying for AI-generated quote-unquote deep fake porn of fellow streamers, Pokimane, QT Cinderella, Sweet Anita, and Maya Higa. His girlfriend is also in the apology video, crying for who knows why, just in the foreground, just some nice out-of-focus tears. So it all started when he was on Twitch live streaming and he opened his browser and in one window, one of the tabs just had nude pictures of other female Twitch streamers in it. So he's on Twitch and his audience is like, hey, what's that? Hello? So in his apology video, he said that he was reading information and learning about artificial intelligence online. But then he did admit that he was just on Pornhub when he saw an ad on the site and then he clicked on it and the site is subscription based. So he paid for the subscription to access and then his quote is, I got morbidly curious and clicked on something. It's gross and I'm sorry. It's embarrassing. And he added that his actions were not a pattern of behavior.
If you're curious, make it of yourself, but continue.
So he was just not another streamer to the specific. I'm gonna go specifically into QT Cinderella because she did a reaction and a response talking about this as someone who was subjected to this. So he was just not another streamer. He was her close friend, close friend of her and her boyfriend. She made his wedding cake and her boyfriend and him, her boyfriend and him and a few other people started a company together just recently. And her best friend was another one of the girls in the tab that was open. So a quote from Sweet Anita said, "This story was how I found out that I'm on this website. I literally choose to pass up millions by not going into sex work and some random Cheeto-encrusted porn addict solicits my body without my consent instead. Don't know whether to cry, break stuff, or laugh at this point." Pokimane said, "Stop sexualizing people without their consent. That's it. That's the tweet. I want to scream," said QT Cinderella. "Stop it, everybody. Stop fucking spreading it. Stop advertising it. Stop. Being seen naked against your will should not be a part of this job." She went on further telling in a video on Twitch, which I would encourage anybody to watch this, like everybody watch this video. Specifically, we'll get into it. I think a video that is very important to watch that involves this video. Every movie tries to capture like female like rage. And I'm like, this is the fucking rage of someone who, like, I watch it and I'm like, we ride at dawn. Where the fuck do you want me to go? Like, I have goosebumps just like talking about it, thinking about it. Like, there's like this innate response, I think, as women that we have that I'm like, no, we'll fucking destroying that, burn that shit to the fucking ground. I mean, I would encourage everyone to watch it, but she's suing. She's suing the owner of the site. In a second statement posted, Atroic, let's just say his fucking name, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon said that he would help finance the cost of taking down the offending content and all the legal fees for the streamers. He also said that he'd be stepping away from content creation, and Off-Brand, which is the content creation studio. This is the last time you'll see me for a while. I'd rather you see my action. I'd rather you see my actions. I will try my absolute hardest to combat the damage I caused. The individual behind all the deepfake images has taken them down and replaced the website with an apology because they're now knowing they're about to get sued. So even porn websites like Pornhub have all banned AI and deepfake.
They advertise it all the time.
Yeah,
No,
so
they need to ban the advertisements.
Deepfake technology, which has been used to use AI to map someone's face onto somebody else's body, has been around since 2018. Pornhub has banned the practice, saying that it's non-consensual. But we all know the issue with Pornhub, which again, I don't have an issue with porn or Pornhub, a hub of porn, nor the business of people, whatever. But the issue is that it's great that people can upload their own kind of content, but the issue is that there's not enough filtering and it's a lot of automated systems, which is why things can kind of slip through those cracks there. So I had heard not rumblings about this, but like I follow some journalists. I had seen people reposting this and sharing all of this. It wasn't until Ethan Klein from H3 did a video reacting to QT Cinderella's reply video that I watched the video. And that's the video I would encourage everybody to watch. I know that he's very popular online. I've watched some things that he has done. I would under no circumstance would consider myself a fan. I also mostly prior to this, because anyone who's been making 5-hour long vlog, YouTube video podcasts for years on end, I cannot confidently say that I know what you've said and all of those things. So I'm not about to align myself in saying I'm a fan of you. You've been talking to a camera for hours uninterrupted for years. And that rots your brain. And when you are hiring a bunch of other men to work at your company, and then you have a fraction of women who are there, and my heart goes out to all of them. And that's specifically why I think people should watch this video, because watching their reactions and the realization on their faces of how the men that they work with are reacting to this is horrific. And I think every woman who watches this knows we've all had that feeling of I'm not in a safe place. I'm not an exception to the rule, and you're not an exception to the rule. So she's sobbing in this video. I can't stress enough how hard and painful this is to watch. This isn't just a video of someone talking about something bad that's happened. This is incredibly emotional and really horrific. So Ethan played the video on his show, and as he watched her sob and cry, he covered his mouth and smiled. And then the soundbite of chestnuts roasting on an open fire started playing. And some of the men even got up and walked off camera because they were laughing so hard. They didn't want to be shown on camera. And then you just see it cut between the women who work there. One is literally, she's not hiding her mouth because she's smiling. She's hiding her face because she's mortified to be included in this. And the other one is, when I say, if I don't know if you have siblings or you could have been a teacher, that death stare that she's just looking straight, the rage, the absolute rage in that. So he starts laughing hysterically, and then they stop playing the music, and then they just keep laughing. This is all live, their show. So they have people in the Discord responding and talking to this. And clearly people were what the fuck? And we're pretty upset about it. So people are coming for the guy he has who kind of runs the soundboard, who will insert, so the point is of what they do on the show. I don't think that you've watched.
I'm familiar.
Yeah. So they will have, if anyone isn't familiar, they will play little audio clips that are to make a moment funnier, kind of oh, wah, wah, but meme culture sort of things. And so this Chestnuts on an Open Fire has essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just what I've gathered from all the information I've read and heard people talk about on Reddit and seen all these things, that it's their current tiny violin of the moment. So that song specifically has been established in playing something in a woe is me sort of a way. So people are eviscerating the guy who controls the soundboard and does all of this stuff. And he's getting upset. And you can just see them all kind of toying in between. Ethan's wife, Hila, is are you going to? And he's no. And shit's not really not moving forward. Finally, Ethan reveals that he messaged the guy and asked him to play the song. Prior to that, he was letting this guy be ripped apart to shreds for thinking that he chose to do this and Ethan was just a victim. So he asked Zach to play that. He giggled. Everyone saw it. He wrote it in the Discord and everyone saw it, and it is what it is. And I apologize. I know that it was super inappropriate. I just have to say that apology is just not it for me. Like, if you watch that video of him saying that, he's backed into a corner. He doesn't want to say anything. It's clear that other people are annoyed with him for like letting them take the fall for it. They all fucking laughed and he instigated it and it's his show. Mm-hmm. So it just like makes me like so irate. Cutie Cinderella did a response like asking like people asked like, did you see Ethan's apology? And she was like, yeah, no, as soon as I saw it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? Like, what do you mean? Like, so you get on here and you call out like David Dobrik, you call out Andrew Tate, you do all this shit, but like, you think that you're exempt because you call out bad guys that you then cannot be benefiting from the patriarchy and actively participating in sexualization, the non-consensual sexualization of women. Like, you're becoming a part of it, even though you're reporting on it, you think you're bringing eyes to it. Like, and one of his early on excuses, like, you know, like, I mean, maybe not his, but people were defending saying like, you know, it's dark humor. Like, you know, he always says like, it makes me uncomfortable. It's a coping mechanism. And I just have to say, a coping mechanism is only used if you are coping with it personally.
Right.
You do not get dark humor and a coping mechanism if you are consuming other people's shit. If you are an audience member, like if a stand-up comedian gets up on stage, they went through something really horrific, like specifically, Pete Davidson will make 9/11 jokes. Mm-hmm. I will not make 9/11 jokes saying, well, it's a coping mechanism. Right. I have nothing to cope with.
Right.
That's not what that is. And it just makes me fucking irate because you're like a literal grown man. You've been doing this for years. You have a team of people. Like, you literally have people. You made the conscious choice to live stream your goddamn fucking show. Here's the thing. I understand more than anyone getting the fucking giggles, unrelated giggles on sets.
Or being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
you're trying to do a scene and you're like, you can't stop laughing. It has nothing to do with the scene. And you're like, I have to be professional. And in those instances, you just have to suck it up and power through. In this instance, you can have, you know what? We're still having a really hard time coming off this last bit we did earlier. That's so funny. We did not time this well. We should not be talking about this here. We're gonna address this tomorrow. Like, this is not fair. This is not what this, like, just not what any of these women deserve. That's all you have to say.
And these aren't our thoughts when it clearly is.
And like, you can't then just be like, oh, don't read into it. It's not that deep. Like, you had to like context. I'm like, I don't want context. And it just makes me mad. He did a second apology video, which I really, really, really fucking hope that he takes the initiative to pursue looking into it further, because like that is his responsibility. And like, I think it's really, at this point, when you are harming other people and you've done it before, you need to take responsibility. You're an adult. Mm-hmm. He has Tourette's. And one of the things that his wife had brought up to him, and I guess he said that she's brought up to him repeatedly over the years, is like, why do you do this? Like, why do you say these things and seem to have no filter in this sense and not that? And she asked him, she's like, do you think it's a Tourette's thing? And he's like, no. And he's like, that's a cop-out. That's an excuse. I'm just an asshole. And so now that this has happened over and over again, and he's like, I don't know why I do this. Maybe I should look into it. Please look into it. Like, yes, at this point, deciding that you would rather be an asshole and kind of double down in that without controlling it. If it's something that you can't control with the tools that you currently have, why do you want that to just be that you're an asshole? Like,
yeah, this makes me so uncomfortable.
At this point, it is all of our own responsibility to learn more about our mental health, because our mental health and our disabilities, our behavior affects other people. And not wanting to attribute potentially a lack of impulse control, which ADHD has an impulse control. Like, that's something like, I interrupt people and I don't like when I do it. Like, I feel really bad. I apologize afterwards. But like, I don't think that that's a part of my personality, nor do I think
it's an excuse.
Or if it's a part of my brain and how it was developed before I was born and how I am, then it's like, okay, well, so then how can I make this in a way that like I'm okay with myself and I feel better about it and I mitigate what I can and I can work on positively like coping mechanisms to like help myself through these things. And then how can I also then not beat myself up afterwards if I fail? Like, how can I make a system to support me through this so then I can support other fucking people? Mm-hmm. Always, I will always say, men with platforms are never the voice for women. They're never going to be the leading voice in women's empowerment. They're never going to be the leading voice in the patriarchy and advocating to protect women from men. It's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And we need to stop centering these are the good men. These are the feminist men. Stop. Center women, center people who are not making their entire career about their male experience in life and then suddenly trying to win bonus points for being like, I'm one of the good guys.
Right.
And I just hate it. If this is something that is related to his Tourette's and like this is something that's like really keeping him up at night, I'm sure that this is really hard for him because he has said a lot of really fucked up shit over the years. So that's a lot to unpack.
Right.
Fuck AI porn. And I'm so excited for the absolute evisceration of the people who created it, shared it.
Mm-hmm. Agree. As y'all know, I'm a porn watcher and the ads come up all the time. All the time.
Yeah. Anyways, that is it for our episode. If you would like to write in for an upcoming episode, you can send us a message at butamiwrongpod@gmail.com and stay tuned for tomorrow's episode to hear the results from last week and go vote so you can participate and be a part of our sample size, and you'll see the results from today's episode.
Sample size. You haven't said that before.
I have not.
Good job.
Thank you. Words. Goodbye.
We'll circle back.
Oh, shit. But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.